Greetings. How's it going, guys? All right. We are back at the Exclusive Career Coach podcast. As I told you last week when I restarted this engine, I'm going to be doing this episode or this podcast every other week and alternating with my new podcast, The Exclusive Career. This podcast is going to be focusing on career or job search related things, whereas the other podcast is more career management, leadership development, employee development kinds of things. I'm going to be using this podcast for the foreseeable future to review previous episodes and bring them into the current time, and in this case, 2025. So we're going to be reviewing episode number 2 today, which was how to maximize the effectiveness of job boards. And again, lots has changed since 2017 when I recorded episode number 2. So here we go for 2025. As I said last time in episode 1, and as I've been saying since episode 1 in 2017, job boards are broken. Having said that, we want to talk about how to use them. Last week, I talked about the difference between active and passive job search strategies. And if you don't know what that is, then I highly recommend that you go back and listen. I also talked about the hidden job market and how to access those jobs that aren't advertised or posted anywhere. So today, I want to give you 12 tips for making the most of job boards. And the first thing I want to talk about is how much time you should spend on them. For far too many people that I talk to when I do a consult with them, I say, so tell me about your job search. And they stop at job boards. That's all they know. So here's my rule of thumb. If you are a recent graduate, maybe still in your 20s, so you maybe have had, a couple of jobs, I want you to spend at least 25% of your job search time on active strategies. So you can still spend about 75% of your job search time on job boards because your jobs live there. They do. You do have opportunities there. So 75, 25. I want to introduce you to active strategies. I want you to start them because you're going to need them more and more, and you want to develop that skill for later in your career. If you are mid-career, 50-50 split. If you are upper level, 25% of your time on job boards, 75% in active strategies. And if you are at the executive level, there really is no reason to be looking at job boards. It should be 100% active. So that's number one. Don't spend all of your time on job boards, no matter what level you're at, to varying degrees. I want you out there networking. Number two, think about job boards. So let's assume that maybe you aren't working, you aren't employed, and you have daytime hours and evenings, kind of everything is open for you. And you're going to be doing, hopefully, a lot more hours a week. My recommendation for a full-time job search, meaning that you are working, you're not working outside of this. So your job is job searching. I recommend that you spend 30 hours a week. I want you to do job boards at, 10 o'clock at night when you can't network. So don't waste valuable lunchtime hours or afternoon or morning hours on job boards when you can be out there networking. Number three, I want you to only apply to jobs on job boards if you are at least 75% qualified and, this is not an or, this is an and, very interested in the job. You are excited about it. Even if you know in your heart that you're the ideal candidate, if you don't look like it on paper, and we're going to talk about the customization piece in a moment, but if you just don't have half of what they're asking for, you really are wasting your time to apply for that job. So 75% qualified means you don't have to be 100% qualified, but you also want to tell yourself the truth. If there's anything that you don't have, you want to look at how that is worded and where it is in the list of things they are asking for. Does it seem like a non-negotiable, like you're out if you don't have this, or does it seem more like something like it's a preferred qualification? And if you're not very interested, what are you doing? Why are you bothering? Number four, I want you to customize your resume and cover letter. Of course, you've heard that to death. And I promise you that in future episodes, as I do these rewinds, I will be telling you more about how to do that. I really don't like seeing posts on social media where people say like how to get a job and it says customize your resume and cover letter and that's all they tell you. So trust me, I will go into depth on this in the future, but just know how important that is. You want to make sure that you incorporate the keywords from the job description exactly as they are used in the job description. Use their terminology. You have to get through the applicant tracking system before you can get to the humans. You got to do that. Now, next, leverage AI as a tool for customizing your resume and cover letter, but don't let it do the job for you. Don't let it be in the driver's seat. Don't say, write me a cover letter and send it off. HR has tools to determine which resumes are written by AI, and they are, in some cases, automatically discarding those applicants. So there is a lot at stake here. Let it help you figure out how to word a sentence that you're just not happy with. Let it give you some suggestions for how to position yourself based on a certain qualification in the job description. Don't hand over the reins. Next, we mentioned the ATS, the applicant tracking system. You want to make sure that your resume is compatible. So I'm not talking about the keywords, but rather using common headings in your resume like professional experience, education. Don't try to be cute because the ATS will not be able to find and score the information it's looking for. Don't use things like text boxes. Two columns don't work. Tables don't work. Fancy headers. I'm able to do some design elements on my resumes because I'm a professional and I know how I can make that resume physically attractive to the human eye while also completely ATS compatible. I don't expect you to know that. That's not a skill set you would have. Next, when you find a job on LinkedIn or another job board, I recommend that if we use the example of LinkedIn, have lots of capabilities on there to help you know how do you compare to the other candidates. And this is going to vary depending on whether you have a paid or unpaid account, but you're going to be able to see how you're connected to that company. Who do you know that works there? There's going to be all kinds of intelligence there. Use it and then apply on the company's website. I did a podcast on this podcast um, some time ago. I don't know when it was, but I did talk about, I did quite a bit of research, and the ultimate bottom line was that you have a better chance if you apply on the company's website. Number 8, I want you to use the plus one approach or don't apply. That is my term, plus one approach, for doing one more thing in addition to just applying online like everybody else. Who do you know? Who is in your network? Who do you know that works at the company? Who do you know that knows somebody that works in the company? Situationally, what is one more thing you can do for that job at that company to increase your chances of getting noticed? Number 9, connect with the recruiter who posted the role if that's shown, if that's available to you, and other key stakeholders at the company on LinkedIn. Don't tell them that you're connecting to them because you applied for a job. Just say, hey, I see that we're both connected to so and so. I see we both used to work at such and such a company. Whatever the commonality is, you will need to use LinkedIn's advanced search functionality for this. And as I promised last time, if you don't know how to do that, I will be talking about that in an upcoming episode. Number 10, complete the application. Don't leave any blanks. And a lot of them won't let you leave blanks, but then you start putting in something weird. Don't put C resume in there. It doesn't work. Answer the question about salary requirements. You might have a big, depending on how they ask the question, you might have a fairly big range, but don't put negotiable. They will immediately discard you. It's a pain in the butt because it's already all on your resume. Play the game, do it. Number 11, follow up whenever possible. If you know what company you're applying to and the ad doesn't specifically say no calls, then contact them to let them know you're interested and make sure that they've received your materials. I personally have an experience of applying for something, didn't hear anything, knew I was a top candidate, reached out, they said they never got it. It was a glitch in the system, and I would have never known that had I not reached out to them. Number 12, think about job boards as being a reference point on companies that are in hiring mode. So, in other words, you're not necessarily just looking for jobs that you are qualified for, but where is hiring activity happening? because those companies are going to be more likely to want to have a conversation with you, even if they don't have a position posted. They are in hiring mode, they're in growth mode. Now, you want to find out why they're in growth mode. How might you be able to add value to them? And is that company a good fit? But looking on job boards as a reference point can be a really good, you know, way to find out. All right, I hope this has been helpful on how to maximize the effectiveness of job boards. If all you are doing is looking on job boards for a job, number one, I've said it a million times, you're not conducting a job search, you're just looking at job boards. You need to add some ingredients to that. And if you think I can help you with that, I know that I can. And if you think I can, check out my links in the show notes and schedule a consult with me, and let's see what we can do together. I will talk to you next time. Take care.